What up, everyone? This is Mr. Lord, Dr. Professor, Dark Joker, here with another edition of Traditional Fans with Opinions, where I'll give my reviews for whoever I watched, read, or played today. And who are Traditional Fans with Opinions? That is myself, and that is you, the viewers. With all that being said, on with the reviews. Yaiba, Samurai Legend, 2025, Episode 15. So in this one, so Yaiba, he's basically paddling along, going slowly because he's just using his legs and hands. It's just the rest of him that's the basically the raft. So everyone's sitting on him. Yeah, everyone's telling him to speed up, but he can't. He can only go so fast. Then so it happens. So Musashi and Kojiro start arguing. Then they start fighting. That basically one of their swords gets accidentally pokes Yaiba in the butt, and so they all crash. And so he pulls the sword out of Yaiba's butt. Yeah, it's gonna hurt the poop for a while. So then they all come across Mr. Starfish from that haunted house thing, and they meet Mr. Starfish and his wife and kid. And then they mention that they're trying to find. They tell him that they're trying to find Dragon Orb, and Mr. Starfish says he remembers hearing something like that with an orb like inside like this volcano in Mount Osso, which Yaiba calls Mount Fatso. So they all go to the volcano, which is possibly about to erupt, and then they find the orb. Yaiba tries to get across, but then you have so they were also being trailed by Mr. Spider and this fox ninja dude name like named named Shiro, and then yeah. So yeah, Shiro's an interesting. That's actually an interesting character. Like he's kind of awesome in this episode. So basically they fight, and so Yaiba he basically the smoke blind them, and they're telling him which way to go. They're saying right or left, and Yaiba doesn't understand right or left. This Spider's he's like, how do you not know what's your right and your left? And that explodes him to everyone. Everyone's like, what, Mr. Spider? Yeah, and so that starts the whole fight. Then like Yaiba starts fighting Shiro, and basically they do this whole transformation because Shiro can do a bunch of transformations. Well, Yaiba can use an orb to do that. So they start doing ones. Starts also so they both so Shiro transforms to a tiger. Yaiba transforms to like the little dragon thing. They do a bunch of ones like Yaiba looks like a UFO and well. So basically you have all these and then after Yaiba transforms UFO, like it starts getting ridiculous. Then so Shiro transforms to like some girl in a bunny outfit. Those like you know very suggestive bunny outfits. And so then Yaiba, Musashi, and Kojiro are like, "Oh, we like this." And then Yaiba's like, "All right, if you want to do that," he transforms to Sokka, and then Sokka's like, "Yeah, that's right, fight beauty with beauty." And then Kojiro's like, "Hey, if you're gonna do that, why don't you just transform to Nadeshiko?" So Yaiba then transforms to Nadeshiko, but it's her in a bikini. So Musashi and Kojiro are really excited about that. And Sokka's like, "Wait, why is she in a suit?" Nashiko's a little embarrassed about that. And so basically with the whole so then like Yai was able to defeat after the whole transformation contest, after all the fights, Yai was able so then so what happens is Shiro's like, I bet you get transformed into a little bee, and Yai says, watch this, and he turns to a little bee, and then Shiro just picks him up and eats him. He's like, alright, he's gone. But Yaiba starts attacking his stomach, and so Shiro spits him out, and Yaiba then defeats him. It basically turns Shiro back to a regular fox, free spirit, whatever, and goes away. Now, the lava do also some. So starfish, the starfish have been, Mr. Starfish have been burned. during the battle. Like he gives them the fire orb, Yaiba's group the fire orb, and he's like he thinks he's about to die, and so I goes, don't die. Then Yaiba just pulls out the water orb, just squirts Miss Arb's with water, and he's fine. Miss Arb's like, oh, I'm fine. So I guess like don't don't don't, don't choke us like that. So, yeah, it's so funny. So Starfish goes back to his family, and then Yaiba says they probably need to get all 7 orbs in order to defeat Onimaru. Yeah, who had just shot down like the entire Japanese Air Force. So yeah, Yaiba's probably right. Because in the beginning of the episode it starts with Yaiba, like the Japanese Air Force like attacks like Onimaru's castle. Onimaru just destroys all of them, just shoots them all down. So yeah, I really like this episode. Um, yeah, so a lot of people are comparing this to Dragon Ball. Like, which makes some sense. This series went from 1988 to 1993, well, in the manga anyway. And then, Dragon Ball, the original Dragon Ball started in 1980, 84, and then 95. So it started like around 4 years before Yaiba started, and ended 2 years after. So the whole 7 orbs to deal with involving the dragon, that's obviously an influence from Dragon Ball. And the kid in the forest meeting the city girl, that's Dragon Ball. And the kid in the forest being a complete retard. I mean, that is totally, and being short, that is definitely Dragon Ball. I mean, it's so funny. Is like this is a great episode. I really like this episode. Looking forward to the next one. Kaiju number 8, season 2, episode 1. So this is the season premiere. Premiering basically 2 days after the manga ended. Yeah. So what we see is third division. Is just, a lot of them are assigned to different divisions. Going on their own paths to grow stronger. And then we see Kafka and Kikoru being assigned to First Division, which is led by Captain Gen Narumi. So, basically what happens here is Kikoru's made to serve under, and she meets Gen. She first is like, "What the heck is with this guy?" It's like, no, no, he's a superior officer, and so Kafka is assigned, and so Kikoru's father, Isao, who's awesome. Isao is awesome. May he rest in peace. Manga spoilers. He like assigns Kafka under Gen to base since Gen's like the strongest division. Since First Division is supposed to be strongest division, basically he wants you know Kafka to be an asset for First Division. Gen first says no. He's like, the only thing First Division needs is me. Be strongest as me. And then Kafka says he wants to, basically, keep a promise to Mina. Wants to fulfill his goal. To be a successful member of the defense force. Gen's like, look, he's like, I don't care about your goals, but if you lose control, I'll turn you into my suit. And he just walks out. So Kafka joins First Division. Yeah, Gen's awesome. Gen is awesome. It's not Soshino cool, but he's cool. So then, like, we see like an attack, on and so this is setting up like everything. Obviously they're worried about Kaiju number 9, and setting up everything. So yeah, I you know thought this was a good episode. Good way to introduce all the characters, set up everything that's coming up. Obviously, First Division is going to be very important with everything. Then, with everything that's going to happen, later with all the stuff with Kaiju number 9, how First Division is going to be important with everything. That's going to be big. Where it's this season and next season. Depending on how many, I don't know how many cores season 2 is going to be. I don't know if it's going to be 1 or 2, but I think if it's all one core seasons, I think they'll need at least another season to finish the story. Yeah, over. I really like this episode. Looking forward to the next one. Phineas and Ferb, season 5, episode 11. So in the segments of this episode, so first one, so Buford has life-size suits of basically everyone in Danville, like all everyone he knows. So one of the Candace suits, has come to life and basically gets out of Buford's house, whatever, walks around, and basically attacks Jeremy while he's like dressed up as a giant hot dog for a slushy burger. And then he and he then so then Kansas is concerned. So basically Jeremy's will show up to, I guess, the Flint Fletcher house like 15 minutes before, but he hadn't arrived, so she assumed he's ghosting her, and Jeremy wants to at least call her, tell her why he's late, because basically he had to pull a double shift because someone was in the hospital. Yeah, yeah. So then he takes Phil, but then he's like attacked by the living Candace suit. Then he runs to the Flint Fletcher house and tells Can and then sees the you know basically Candace lets him in before he's able to explain anything. Basically, he's like says something's chasing him, blah blah. Blah. And then the suit gets into the house, and Candace sees it, fights it. Jeremy doesn't know which one's the real Candace. I mean, there is a big difference in appearance because the suit had come across Doofenshmirtz and you know got him, and then basically took over his body, and then basically the suit starts trying to everyone they will figure out what the suit is. They don't tell which one's Candace, and they start chasing the suit. The suit spits out Doofenshmirtz first. Doofenshmirtz just walks away, and then everyone starts chasing the suit. They corner it. Basically, a lot of them want to just destroy the suit. Buford says no. And he's kind of sad when he thinks Candace killed it. Pretty dark. Then, basically, Candace suit fight, and then, yeah, basically, Buford thinks he killed, Candace killed the suit, but then, or next few days, stuff happens, and it's revealed that the suit is actually possessed, absorbed Candace. Then once the suit says she's got to help the boys, as in Phineas Ferb, Candace, that's where Jeremy realizes that that's not the real Candace. So then they use Phineas Ferb used their banana peeler to well, I don't know if it's over the next day or next few days, whatever. Basically, so Phineas Ferb used their banana peeler that they built from when they were trying to figure what to do with some leftover banana peels they did for some invention they were using bananas for. So they used banana peeler to get Candace out of the suit, and Baljeet pulls out a flamethrower to try to just put the Beatrice, as Buford called it, out of its misery. Everyone says no, and I was like, it's a living thing. So Buford has ideas. Well, let's see. This thing's alone. It's an empty shell, and basically Buford's able to understand the mumbled gibberish that that Beatrice is saying, and it says that basically Beatrice woke up with an empty shell, tried to fill itself with like a raccoon, with trash, with other people, and couldn't find anything to fill it. So Buford's idea is take Beatrice far away, somewhere where it can't hurt anyone, where and towards a place where there's also someone else that's also like an empty shell. So they take it to the Himalayas, uh, where Klimpelun's at. The magical talking bathing suit that lives in the Himalayas. Yeah, yeah. So basically, Klimpelun and Beatrice basically see each other. It's like love at first sight. And then basically, as Fur puts it, they're suited for each other since they're suits. Yeah. Then that's it for that. segment. Then the next segment, so while Candace, Linda, and Lawrence are grocery shopping, Linda's trying to read some books. She's trying to read for book clubs, like a really long book, and she doesn't think she'll be able to read it. And they come across Miss Sweetwater, who's the mother of and Addison. So Addison, is one of the Fireside Girls. Miss Sweetwater's her mother. I guess the first time they've actually revealed Addison's name, as far as what I remember. 'Cause I don't think they actually ever reveal her last name until this episode. Anyway, doesn't matter. But like, so basically, in this one, then so basically, so Addison's mother, Miss Sweetwater's Kyle guy says, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna try." Says, "Oh yeah, I just sit in my hammock and read." Yeah, and then, whatever. Yeah, and then Linda says that she doesn't think that Miss Sweetwater actually reads the book. She probably just goes watch a movie for or something. And Kat says, why don't they try to bust her into it? Then no, Linda first says no, but then when Linda actually has 16 items and the 15 items or less line, Miss Sweetwater says, "Oh, busted," and Linda's like, "All right, we're doing this." So Candace basically takes Linda with her to like bust Miss Sweetwater, so they basically spy in her house. When Irving, some reason there, I guess Irving lives next door or something. So I guess Irving lives next door to Addison, and then they go, and then so Irving helps out. They try to spy on. So Addison was supposed to have archery practice. Then I guess it got rescheduled, and then they see Miss Sweetwater leaving to go to a movie, so they follow her there, and then they wear disguises and go there, and basically reveal that the entire book club is there. And so basically, so Linda, who Candace told to look at her phone while they're trying to bust, Candace uses her phone all the time for busting. Well, attempts at busting. It's revealed that basically there was a whole group text of, yeah, since no one could finish the book, they were all just going to see the movie instead. But Linda didn't know about that, and then so it was like, oh wait, if you didn't know about it, if you didn't see the text, why are you here? Are you here to cheat? Oh, you're busted. And Lynn's like, all right, I deserve it. Oh well, let's just enjoy the movie. So yeah, and Doof and Perry. So Doof and Perry's fights are not really involved. So I can't remember if Perry even appears in the first segment. If he is, it's like maybe a second or two. But in the second segment, it's like randomly in the background, him and Doof fighting. There's like some guacamole. So like Phineas and Ferb, they build some giant it's like they built some giant like those like inflatables they see at car lots. Basically, they build like a really tall version, like a skyscraper height version of one, and it randomly ends up in this like empty car lot. So motivates people to go buy cars. Then a bunch of guacamole that I guess Doof bought starts falling from the sky near the that empty car lot owner's chips. So everyone's like, oh, chips and guac. Now I have another reason to go buy a car. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like they also had their idea of giving free bonsai trees. Yeah. So yeah, overall, these are okay episodes. Like I saw the first 10. Like when they released 10 at once, like back in June. Like I don't know why they did that. Why didn't they just do them all weekly? I mean, it was weird to do that when it says when they're airing, not and to release them as they air. Anyway. So yeah, but this set of episodes I thought was okay. It was okay. I mean, I get they're trying to mix up a little this season, which I like they're trying to mix up a little because I mean the formula did get stale because they were running out of ideas, especially later in those first four seasons. Like especially when you get to like around season 3, season 4, you could tell they're running out of ideas. Overall, I thought this was an okay set of episodes. I'm interested in the next set. Bullet episodes 1 through 8. So they released the first 8 episodes all at once on Hulu and Disney Plus. So yeah, this is a series written by Sung Woo Park, who's a South Korean director that works with a lot of Japanese anime. So in this show, basically you have a lot of people, gathering trash from like I guess what's called the old world. So like there's like some post-apocalyptic thing. Then the people involved with collecting trash is named Gear. He wants more of that. Basically he's inspired by this outlaw named Road who drove a car. Basically, there's a lot of stuff with the old world, so everyone wants to wear masks when they're gathering trash. So Gear wants to have a better life. And then his two friend, like basically he works with a talking polar bear named Shirokuma and a robot named QU0213 who has a bunch of different personalities. You have like a grandmother, uh, basically like two sisters, and I think there was like a brother or something. There's like a bunch of personalities in there. So they basically do some jobs. Then they work for this guy named Boss, who's kind of like Gear's father figure. I don't know if he's his actual father. He called like Boss calls him his son, and Gear calls him dad. Yeah. So basically, Gear, Bear, and QU they meet this girl named Noah, who's like 2 years older than Gear. Basically, she hires them to basically find this tape, like a cassette tape, and this like little that was inside this little like bottle or like a memento from her father. She hires him to get and return it to her, and she'll pay. And there's like a deposit. So they do. Let's just say, like they do. They're on the run from like the cops. Their car's the only thing about them that's identified. They're not. So like they're not. They're relatively clear. Then they get back to their hideout. Noah's not there. So then they spend time trying to find her. While on the run, they find her, give her the thing. Turns out, no, she all she cared about was the tape. Apparently, they listened to the tape. It's like some gotcha samba, whatever the heck is, some song that they like. So yeah, and there's some code in it. Yeah, so basically, then they all go out to run, and basically, it seems like Noah had tricked them. Basically, she's part of resistance that wants to reveal the truth of the world. There's like a lot of bad stuff in the world. And so yeah, basically there's a lot. So eventually they come across resistance, which includes this like cop named Lynn, and there's a reveal that Bear is not an actual bear; it's a guy in a suit. Yeah. So it's a guy in a suit, and he was butt naked in the suit for some reason, but eventually he reveals that to Gear, who thought it was an actual talking bear. Turns out there's a bunch of the talking bear things like a suit that some waiters wear, and that's how Bear got it. So so Shirokuma, who's like he meets Lin. He's nervous because it's revealed that Lin's his daughter. So basically, Shirokuma had a bunch of gambling debts, and that led to his wife leaving him with his daughter, and taking the daughter with him. So and Lin's revealed to be his daughter, and he tells Noah, Kyu, and Gear to not tell Lin that. And so when Lin gets drunk, tries to get him to take the suit off, he's like, no, I don't want to do it. And she's like, where are you, my dad? Like when he tells her to like sit down. Maybe she should stop drinking. And she's like, well, you're lucky. If you were my dad, bang. Like basically, Joker says she would, if he was her father, she would shoot him. And he's like, wait, so you hate your dad? She's like, I despise him. So then so then the resistance breaks into the enemy base to steal like this data, and it's revealed that so there's something with like the DNA. So the people in the wasteland, so like Gears people, there's like stuff taken from their DNA that's like sucked out of them, so like causes them to die at like in their 30s, and they have advanced aging. And then basically it's pumped out into, and basically it's filtered out through the mask and pumped out into like the big city where all the people in it get to live longer lives. So basically, the elites are absorbing the life force of the poor people. That's essentially what it is. Yeah, and and Lynn is seemingly double crossed, but she was given some promise about it, probably about sparing everyone's lives. So I guess so. Lynn like so basically a bunch of people captured, and Noah's either dead or captured. Gear like gives a message, shows the video to everyone in the wasteland, revealing what happened. And hey, look, we got jobs to do. We kind of wish we didn't know this. We got jobs, but we can't do it. So basically, it's like, oh, okay, so they see how stuff, but it's like they got work to do. They can't do anything. So what's they can do right now? So since they just heard it, they don't know if it's accurate. So yeah, so that happens, and then Gear's shocked about that, and Noah's seemingly killed her, and Bear, who was I guess he knew martial arts, stays behind the fight. So basically, it's like a cliffhanger because I mean, there's still another batch of episodes left. So yeah, so and finishes they'll finish through. So like, so as far as this batch, I thought it was decent. That was fine. It's definitely like that old like 90s style, sci-fi anime, like when it comes to like story structure, the whole post-apocalyptic thing, obviously there's a lot of mysterious stuff about the old world, a lot of, so like very steampunk, very sci-fi. Like this is very much like what you expect from your 90s, late 90s sci-fi anime. And I mean that in a good way. I actually like it. I thought this is a decent show. It's not the best thing, but it's not like some all-time great, but it's a decent show. That was something. Barrel is like a cool villain. You know, the other characters are cool. Gear can be a little annoying at times. He does cry a little too much, like even more than like Deku does. Well, okay, may not cry as much as Deku, but Deku at least has more reason. But you know, that was fine. The bear was an interesting character. The whole personality thing with the robot was funny. And yeah, I like these episodes. I'm interested to see how the series will finish when the next set of episodes releases. So yeah, look forward to that. And that's it. Did y'all like the stuff I reviewed? And if you have your own opinions about all that, you can put all that in the comments. Thank you for watching, and like, subscribe, and all that. And look forward to the next video.